Ever wonder what it takes to get a luxury watch from a craftsman's workbench to, well, your wrist?
It's quite a journey.
Today's deep dive is all about the intricate world of watches and jewelry distribution.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the journey is way more thrilling than you might think.
It's a high-stakes ballet of logistics, market analysis, and relationship building, all while safeguarding millions of dollars worth of luxury goods.
Okay, so we're talking about watches and jewelry distribution managers, right? I have to admit, before diving into your research, I pictured someone spending most of their day, just moving boxes around a warehouse.
I can see why you'd think that, but it's so far from reality. Our sources actually point to these managers spending close to 40% of their time on strategic planning and negotiation.
Wow, 40%.
We're talking about things like securing the best shipping routes during hurricane season or negotiating contracts with suppliers after a gold price spike.
That's a significant chunk of their time. So it's not just about knowing where the goods are. It's about anticipating challenges, thinking 10 steps ahead, and making sure those luxury items arrive flawlessly and on time, no matter what's happening in the world.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the other players in this intricate web. We're talking about building relationships with everyone, from the artisans handcrafting these pieces to the executives at luxury retailers. This role requires serious diplomacy and people skills, not just logistics.
It's like they're the conductors of an orchestra, making sure everyone is in sync to create a flawless symphony of luxury. What I find fascinating is the blend of, well, let's call it old world luxury with cutting edge technology. The source material mentions something about cloud-based platforms being crucial in this field.
Absolutely. Platforms like SAP and Blue Yonder are becoming the industry standard. They provide real-time visibility across the entire supply chain, from the moment a diamond is mined in South Africa to when it sparkles in a boutique window in Dubai.
Okay, so we're not just talking about fancy spreadsheets here. These are powerful tools that allow managers to track shipments, manage inventory levels, even analyze data to predict demand and optimize delivery routes. It's like having a digital command center for the world of luxury goods.
Exactly. And don't forget about the increasing role of data analytics. Remember that story about the distribution manager who noticed a spike in watch sales every time a certain celebrity or a specific brand?
No way! That's incredible. They were able to connect the dots between celebrity influence and consumer demand, all thanks to data.
Precisely. By analyzing sales patterns, social media trends, even weather forecasts, these managers can anticipate demand, optimize stock allocation, and ultimately make sure those luxury goods fly off the shelves.
It's like they're detectives of the luxury world, uncovering hidden patterns and optimizing the entire system. So you need a sharp business mind on top of everything else. But how does someone even break into this fast-paced, high-stakes world? Is it a field where you have to start at the top, or can you work your way up?
That's where our deep dive gets really interesting. You're not going to magically materialize as a seasoned distribution manager overnight. It typically starts with a more entry-level position, like a watches and jewelry distribution assistant.
So it's all about learning the ropes from the ground up. I imagine there's very little room for error when you're dealing with such valuable items.
You're absolutely right. One misplaced diamond earring could cause quite a stir. But more importantly, this entry-level stage is all about mastering the fundamentals, things like order fulfillment, inventory management, understanding the nuances of shipping high-value goods internationally.
So it's about sweating the small stuff, because in this world, the details really matter. You're not just moving boxes, you're becoming a guardian of luxury, ensuring those precious items are handled with the utmost care and precision. What happens once you've mastered those foundational skills? What's the next rung on the career ladder?
That would be the Junior Watches and Jewelry Distribution Coordinator. Now, you're not just assisting, you're taking a more hands-on role in coordinating the movement of these luxury items. We're talking about managing inventory levels, optimizing stock allocation to meet demand. It's a step up in responsibility, requiring a more strategic mindset.
Okay, so you're moving from the back office to more strategic decision making. What kind of impact can someone at this level have on the overall distribution process?
Our research included a great example of a junior coordinator who identified a bottleneck in their company's distribution process for a particular line of watches.
Really?
By analyzing sales data and collaborating with the logistics team, they were able to streamline the delivery route, reducing shipping time and exceeding sales targets.
Wow, that's impressive. They went from managing logistics to actually optimizing the entire system. It sounds like a role where you can have a real impact, even early on in your career. Talk about proving your worth. It seems like that kind of initiative and problem solving is what sets you up for that coveted watches and jewelry distribution manager role. So let's dive into the dream job. What does a day in the life look like at that level?
Well, imagine this. You're responsible for overseeing the entire distribution network for some of the most sought-after luxury items in the world. We're talking about coordinating shipments across continents, managing teams of people, and making sure those million-dollar timepieces arrive at their destination flawlessly and on time. Talk about pressure.
I can only imagine. I bet a delayed shipment of luxury watches could make or break a quarter for a retailer. The stakes are high.
You're not kidding. Our source material profiled a distribution manager who had to navigate a major supply chain disruption when a volcano eruption halted air travel over Europe.
Oh, wow.
They had a shipment of limited edition watches destined for a flagship store opening in Paris and had to think fast. They ended up chartering a private plane to reroute the shipment through the Middle East, ensuring the watches arrived just in time for the grand opening.
Wow, that's some next-level problem solving. Talk about thinking on your feet and under immense pressure. That story really highlights how this role requires a unique blend of strategic thinking, logistical expertise, and, let's face it, a bit of creative improvisation.
Exactly. And don't forget about those all-important soft skills we talked about earlier. This manager also had to manage the expectations of anxious retailers, reassure suppliers, and keep their team calm and focused amidst the chaos. It's a high-wire act that requires exceptional communication and relationship-building skills.
It sounds like you need the nerves of steel of a neurosurgeon combined with the charm of a diplomat. But with all that responsibility, I imagine the rewards are pretty great too, right?
Absolutely. You're working with exquisite pieces, navigating a complex global network, and playing a crucial role in the success of iconic brands. Plus, you get a front-row seat to the ever-evolving world of luxury, watching trends emerge and seeing how those beautiful objects capture the imagination of people worldwide.
It's about more than just logistics. It's about being a part of something aspirational, something that speaks to artistry and craftsmanship. But what happens when you've reached the pinnacle of watches and jewelry distribution management? Where do you go from there? Is it possible to move up, or are you pretty much at the top of your game?
That's a great question. Our friends at RoleCatcher, the career platform, highlight a few potential paths. You could climb the ladder within your organization, aiming for titles like Director of Supply Chain or even VP of Operations.
So even though it's a specialized field, those skills learned as a watches and jewelry distribution manager are transferable to more senior management roles.
Absolutely. Think about it. You've honed your strategic thinking, problem solving, leadership, and communication skills at the highest level.
Yeah.
Those abilities are valuable across a wide range of industries, not just luxury goods.
It's almost like a hidden superpower. You've mastered this niche field, but those skills can be applied in a broader context. That's a really empowering way to look at it. And speaking of empowering, I have to give props to RoleCatcher for that section in their guide dedicated to alternative job titles. I think it's brilliant how they encourage job seekers to think outside the box and consider related roles they might not have even known about.
It's a game changer. I've seen so many people limit themselves by only searching for jobs with the exact title they currently have or are familiar with. RoleCatcher helps you break free from those self-imposed limitations and discover a whole world of opportunities.
Exactly. For example, someone with experience as a watches and jewelry distribution manager might excel as an import-export manager, a logistics manager for a tech company, or even a procurement specialist for a global fashion brand. The possibilities are pretty exciting.
Precisely. And that's where the real magic of RoleCatcher comes in. It's not just about helping you find any job. It's about connecting you with the right opportunities that align with your unique skills, experiences, and career aspirations.
It's like having a personal headhunter and career counselor rolled into one, except it's powered by AI and available 24/7. But let's be real for a moment. Even with a platform like RoleCatcher, standing out in today's job market can feel like an uphill battle. What are some of the specific ways RoleCatcher helps you get noticed by recruiters and hiring managers?
Well, they have this incredible feature called the RoleCatcher Copilot, which is basically like having a personal career coach in your pocket.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me. How does this Copilot actually work its magic?
Imagine this. You find your dream job posting, but you're staring at your resume, wondering how to make it stand out from the hundreds of other applications. The Copilot AI analyzes the job description you're interested in and then compares it to your resume, suggesting specific ways to improve your chances of getting noticed.
So it's not just about using the right keywords, it's about understanding what that specific employer is looking for and tailoring your resume to highlight the experience and skills that are most relevant to them.
Exactly. The Copilot can suggest adding specific accomplishments, quantifying your achievements with numbers, or even rephrasing bullet points to align with the language used in the job posting. It's like having a professional resume writer and a mind-reading recruiter all in one.
That's incredible. It takes all the guesswork out of the application process. But what about those dreaded cover letters? I swear, just the thought of writing one gives me writer's block. Does the Copilot help with that too?
Oh, absolutely.
Man,
Remember how we talked about the Copilot analyzing job descriptions? It does the same thing for cover letters, suggesting relevant skills and experiences to highlight and even helping you nail that perfect opening line. No more staring at a blank page, trying to summon inspiration.
that's music to my ears. It sounds like RoleCatcher is a game changer for anyone feeling overwhelmed by the job search process, especially in a specialized field like this. But let's be honest, the application is just the first hurdle. What about the interview? Those can be nerve-wracking no matter how experienced you are.
You're telling me. But RoleCatcher has you covered there too. Remember that massive library of interview questions we mentioned earlier? Well, it's not just a random list. It's curated and categorized by career level and specific roles within the watches and jewelry distribution field.
So whether you're applying to be an assistant or a seasoned manager, you're practicing with questions specifically designed to assess the skills needed for that position.
Exactly. And the best part is, you're not just left to practice in a vacuum. You can record yourself answering these questions, and the Copilot AI will analyze your responses, providing feedback on your delivery, content, and even your body language.
Wow, so it's like having a personal interview coach analyzing your every move, but without the judgmental stares. That's incredible. Is there anything RoleCatcher doesn't do?
Well, it won't show up for the interview in your place.
Yeah.
Yet. But speaking of putting your best foot forward, we haven't even touched on RoleCatcher's networking tools.
Right. We talked about how important networking is in this industry, building relationships with suppliers, retailers, other professionals. It's all about who you know, as the saying goes.
Exactly. RoleCatcher lets you import your contacts, categorize them by relevance, and even link them to specific job applications. It's all about being organized and strategic in your networking efforts.
It's amazing how technology can streamline these processes that used to be so time-consuming and, frankly, a little clunky.
It's like having a personal assistant dedicated to helping you manage your career. It's about working smarter, not harder.
I love that. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of watches and jewelry distribution, what are the key takeaways you hope our listeners walk away with today?
First, I want to emphasize that this industry is so much more than meets the eye. It's a dynamic, challenging, and surprisingly tech-driven field that offers incredible career opportunities for those with the right skills and passion.
It's about being a guardian of luxury, a master of logistics, a data detective, and a skilled diplomat all rolled into one.
Well said. And second, no matter where you are in your career journey, don't underestimate the power of leveraging technology to your advantage. Platforms like RoleCatcher can be invaluable resources for navigating today's competitive job market and finding the perfect role that aligns with your aspirations.
It's about taking control of your career destiny and using all the tools at your disposal to achieve your goals. On that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
But before we go, I'd like to leave our listeners with this thought. Next time you're admiring a beautiful watch or a sparkling piece of jewelry, take a moment to appreciate the intricate journey it took to get there.
It's a journey orchestrated by skilled professionals like the ones we've explored today, individuals who blend passion, precision, and a deep understanding of the luxury world to bring those coveted items to life. This has been The Deep Dive, and we'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration.